So welcome to this video in which I tried to show you a bit better how to get along with this Betmaster tool. And we do this at the example of the Polish Ekstraklasa, which has started already, but in case you order the tool or you get your access to it and purchase this league, for example, or you purchase 26 leagues, or I don't know what kind of possibilities there are. There are a couple of, or you add some more leagues, and then you think, okay, I'm gonna try to get along with this league. Then what would you do? And I understand that it's a bit complex, and there are a couple of things you have to watch out for, and that you have to care about. And maybe what I'm trying to do is that I take away the fear that you are afraid, okay, I'm going to change something and weird things are going to happen. So I want to enable you to make useful use of this tool. And now we go to Poland, or you type in Poland in case you selected English language here. And then you say, okay, I want the extra league in here. And you can do that at any point, but of course, if you didn't purchase this league, or it's not in your selection in the end, of course you can still do that. Okay, now it has been added. Now I can most likely, I will find it down here somewhere, right? I still have to check it here because I would like to have it in my profile, or I want to work with it. And from now on, it's gonna be here. And now I'm still going to select this league only, but it's still loading, sorry. So now I can still do this, view this league only. And in case you do so and you haven't initialized this is the main part of the process to get started with a league and get some decent evaluations. And I haven't prepared anything for that, and still of course, I'm not just able to, but I can also, I wanted to quit this, sorry. I have no idea really of this league, if you know any better, but it's just, I'm trying to give you an example. As they played already 15 match days, we are in kind of, it's not the right, well, it would be best to start with a kickoff, but now as you purchase it in the middle of the season because you still want to get started, and you can still do the job. There are few things that maybe appeared a bit different, or what would I do with it, but just follow this guideline. I mean, if I do this weighing here of the former results, how important do I consider former results? And of course, it's the longer they are gone, the less influence they should have on this actual campaign, and so the weighing of these previous seasons is going down. But as we have 15 match days, I consider maybe this and this season as important. So that would still mean, like, I double the weight of this because it's half of the games, and there are more games be played in the previous season. So that sounds reasonable to me, but of course you could also do a 4 here and a 2 there, or something like that, because it's a mixture. You still it's just a computer suggestion that you get. But as soon as you've done this kind of weighing, you still go to the init button, and now you will have first evaluations of those teams. And there's not so much, if you see that, there is Gornik, Lech, Wichnia, that are pretty low here. you have to watch out for the strength here. And if you see, it is something between 1 and 2. Any team of the upper half of the table will be over 1, and at the other end it will be 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. But that everything looks reasonable, but except for the Gornik Lechnia. Because this is just too low, you will get silly prices somehow. But I'm still trying to explain. This is the quotient of these two. So how many scores do they score? Do you expect them to score? How many did they score? As they played all the other teams in these leagues, apart from the teams that won promotion or that got relegated, that are still in the mix here somehow, or in those past results. But still, it should be close to, they scored these many goals in this amount of games, and they conceded these many, divided by the number of games, of course. Thereby you get the quotient, and then you get the total goals that had been coming. That is the sum of these two. So virtually you can calculate these values by hands yourself, because you write down the results, and then if you do the weighing, then you multiply by 3 and divide by 3 more games, 3 times as many games, and so on. So, but this is just a computer suggestion to this end, and we still have to watch out for a few more things. But of course, I would prefer to keep it short and simple. But sometimes things aren't that simple. Now we're gonna, I mean, it is a complex tool that enables you to really beat the market, and therefore, I mean, you wouldn't expect, or maybe you would hope, you press a button and you get the money out of the machine, but it's not as simple, right? Now we have to look here if Gornik Lechner are any weak. They won promotion, so that's why they are very low, because they most likely had been playing in the year before, or a couple 2 years ago, and they had a very bad campaign and got relegated. That's why they are so low. They won promotion now, and then you would still say they may be bottom or the worst side here, but maybe not as terrible as they are here, or I'm gonna put them to 0.6 or something like that, right? This is, I'm approaching them, they are still the worst side, which is also agreed to by transfer market, and most likely also, as I had been weighing this year's results already, most likely they are also bottom of the table right now. And look at the results here, 12.32, so that's awful results. So I'm even gonna correct here, maybe 0.5, because 0.6 sounds still like a bit too optimistic. Radom, I'm not sure about them, because they won promotion, may have had better results somewhere, I'm not sure. I would put them to average, because I'm not certain enough about them. Now they are here, and no idea really. But one more step we have to take here, because now we may have a decent ranking, or we can take 2 more steps. The one step would be, or Radom, are they top of the table right now? No. But they are pretty decent here, somewhere in the middle. Okay, but now we have to watch out for the home advantage. If we see here, this measures the home advantage in the sense of there are so many more goals to be scored, so it's just 15% more, and they concede 15% less at home. This is pretty regular, but it's a bit better than the average, right? But you see here sides with a negative home record. This will most likely be reflected in the results. But if we do we should rather, well, this is a bit exaggerated, right? But if you see that and then you wouldn't dare to touch these. I mean, we can also shape the home advantage to this value. This means we would set all the team's home advantages to the same level. And this is somewhere the average of the last couple of campaigns. And it's also, if you compare that, that's always home sites score 10% better, which you have to divide it by 2, right? 55%, so 1.1 divided by 2, 55% of the goals are being scored by the home sites and 45% are being scored by the away sites. So if you shape this here, then we will have for all the sites the same home advantage. So we are going to do that. Of course, if I do not know a league so well, then it's just something to get started with, right? And then we could do another shaping, because we could go to the goal average that is suggested here. At the moment, there seem to be 2.735 goals, but there had been clearly less last season, and before 2.6, 2.78, we are not so sure. So this is kind of an average value, but maybe we set it to 2.65, and now we even shape them all to the same value. If you see here, there are quite some differences, but we ignore them. It is kind of a shaping. We make it fair adjustment to all of them, and because in the end, now I'm gonna store this. So those are the steps you have to take. Enter the weighing values for the press the init button. Then shape the home advantage maybe, or reset a team here or there. If you check with transfer market and the actual table, of course you wouldn't be, I mean 0.5 is just a rough guess, but we will see the results in the process. So then maybe you say, well, that had been well done. Then I shaped the home advantage, and then I even shaped the goal average, which you see here. Where would it be? We do not know. I mean, 2.65 is somewhere in the middle of all those values here from the past. But would you say it's more approaching 2.45 or rather 2.75? So we go somewhere in the middle. Now we shape them all to the same home advantage. Now I'm going to do the finalize past games. That's the final step you have to do. And now we have to wait a second. In the meantime, I can explain maybe a bit more and a bit better. I mean, if you start with leagues that you do not know so well, you still can have perfect use of this tool. All you should know or understand is you won't instantly start winning. I would fear, or I would predict somehow. But of course, luck can make up for everything. So, but if you're still doing a good job here, you are going to get decent results. I'm pretty sure. But of course, you wouldn't expect this to be that would be magic. This tool, if you would enter those 3 or 4 values, click on 3 or 4 buttons, and then you start to print money. That's too much to be asked for, but still we are going to get some pretty decent results. Okay, now we go to the games, and we are going to check what results we are going to get. Or should I have pressed the back button? I'm not sure. But we will find the league again. View only this league. We go here. Now we should have some pairings, right? This is going to be tonight, Piast Gliwice against Nieciecza. And we don't have any values here yet, but I'm clicking on the button here, and I'm gonna compile the prices, and we see already. Now, isn't this magic? This is magic. I mean, you get 187 as the true price, which is close to the maximum price, somewhere around the average, or that's the price we would pay, 180, 181, no problem. With the draw, we are fine, and with the away win. But I have never done anything with this league. So how can the tool do this? But I'm not sure if we get decent results on the other games as well. Wisła Kraków against Radomiak Radom. Okay, let's check out this one. I'm not sure. We will see what we get. What you see is what you get. Now here you see that the Radomiak Radom, we weren't sure about them. And this is somehow the proof here that we are not sure. But obviously market is also not quite sure. Average, this price should Wisła Kraków possibly be still favorites. Still, I mean, now you would know Radomiak Radom computer, as we saw in the initialization, we have a small problem. We rather maybe wait a week or are not going to bet here, but we don't even have a clear indication. But there is a site we just are not sure of. That's very common if you have a site that promotes, that are winning promotion, and in the process you are not, they are getting very good results, and then you are not sure. Are they this good, or are they maybe it was Górnik Łęczna against Górnik Zabrze. We have 197 on the away side. Here we saw we weren't sure about Górnik Łęczna, and I set them to 0.5. And maybe we could even be a bit higher with them, but we are not way off market, and why not Górnik Zabrze are able to win. But 197, if we get a better price than that, computer would suggest here a bet. But this I would still say, I mean, we bet against the bottom side. We agreed that we are not sure about them. They won promotion, are still bottom. What does it mean? I mean, in this case could mean like Fürth also in Germany, then we know. But they are just not good enough. But would you bet against Fürth now? So this is the same choice you have here. Slask Wrocław against Stal Milec. 2.02 looks like very close to market price. Even here the draw all the way wouldn't be a bet. So the computer is coming with a fair price, is coming very close to market. Once again, I mean, I haven't foreseen this, but I'm impressed by my own tool. And this you could get for any league in worldwide. I mean, that the best. Also on Pogoń Szczecin, Lechia Gdańsk, I'm coming pretty close. Maybe a bit too high on Pogoń Szczecin with the 221, but comparing with the maximum or average, I mean, we are not way off market. And if the 383 is even indicated a 440, or we get a price like that, then why not consider going with Lechia Gdańsk? Now we go for another one. I'm impressed myself, I have to say, and I didn't expect it, and I was doing this from scratch, so to say, for you just to initialize one league. And here we see it's 186. Here it may be a bit too high once again on Raków Częstochowa against Zagłębie Lubin. But it's also not way off market. So maybe computer would suggest here X2 or lay the price on Raków, but it's also within range, I would still say, right? Computer's a bit high here, maybe. And but it would even suggest a bet on Lubin, and maybe you check out and you get the money on Sunday or 27th, that's tomorrow. Wisła Płock, I think that's a woo all over. Wisła Płock against Cracovia Kraków. Okay. We check out this one. What do we get? 229. Okay, here we are very tiny little bit below market. 231 is the average, 245 maximum. So in some sense, maybe computer would suggest here home win, or also the draw could be, but 320 is the true price, 397 here. I mean, it's just doing an excellent job. That's all I can say. Lech Poznan, Warta Poznan. Oh, that's a derby. I mean, here we no idea what the computer tells us, but in those derbies we should rather be a bit more careful. Here it says 153. I mean, it's also not off the mark here. It's pretty okay, but maybe a bit higher on Lech. In this case, it's not a woo, I think. Okay, now the last one, Legia Warsaw against Jagiellonia Białystok. 193, we are once again very close to the maximum average. I mean, you have to consider that this maximum or the average price, it's prices that people pay. And if they pay the price or lay the price, or yeah, they offer you this price for the win, then they still have their winning margin. So if I have a 193 as a true price, then I would maximum pay 185, or I would pay 180 most likely, just to keep my winning margin alive. So if there's a 193 and we are 180, 171 average, we are still very, very close to market. And if there are small deviations, then we even do not mind, because we actually are looking for that, because we want to have those value bets. But of course, I mean, in 3 steps in a 10-minute video, or you start with this league and then you would expect to beat the market. That's a bit to me much to be asked for, but I think this is pretty impressive what the computer does here. And also, if you look at the goals, the total goals, and you check out the market now with the over-under, for example, but I'm not sure if we even get prices here, but I'm so if you have a, but it's doing the same job based on those evaluations, and that should be as close to market as the other prices are, right? We will have indications and we will have games when we fully agree, but that's all we are looking for, right? We want some margin somewhere. And as you see here, for example, 2.5, the over-under here, if we compare with market, we are very close here. Maybe there's an under indication, 185 true price, maximum 2.03, whereby the average is 182, is once again even below the fair price. So there would be no indication. Maybe in the Piast Gliwice against Niecica, we have an over. If you get the 2.0, 2.5, 192 true price, 191 average. I mean, I couldn't be any closer. So I'm incredibly impressed by myself, by my own tool. I mean, we don't have any indications sometimes with a maximum price, but you have to get that one first. So I'm gonna close now, and I'm gonna leave you, and I hope you enjoyed it, and leave your likes or comments or check out the tool yourself. You will get the same results here within a couple of minutes, just following these very small guidelines. Of course, you have to jump now. I mean, I don't know the English terms for that. Jump into the water, cold water maybe. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye, see you.